Hello again. Here is the next part of our story. The stars above had begun to hum, not with sound, but with vibration, a subtle ripple that passed through the bones of the world. It was the sound of remembrance, of threads long severed finding their ends again. The star birthed by the second vault now pulsed with a rhythm that matched the beat of the world's heart. The vaults, once silent monoliths of buried time, had become alive, attentive, and she could feel them. The woman who had once been a child in the dirt, who had once followed a quiet wizard to the end of all things, now stood at the threshold of a new age. Her hair shimmered like flowing magic. Her eyes mirrored galaxies. She walked as one who had spoken to the root of meaning and found it still listening. But the world had changed. With Taco's passing into the vault light, something ancient had awakened beneath the crust of being. A ripple of acknowledgement echoed from places deeper than hell, higher than heaven, realms built from unformed thought. His sacrifice had not gone unnoticed. The judge had left, but others were watching. She felt them first in dreams. Voices that did not speak. Shapes that did not have form. Ideas with teeth. The vaults had begun to answer her, and not all the answers were kind. She gathered allies, not warriors, not kings, but remembers. Those who carried memory like a sword. An old man who knew every moment of his childhood perfectly. A woman who recalled her past lives in vivid pain. A beast who spoke in riddles from a war before language. Together, they traveled to the final place. It was not on any map. It was not even in a place. It was a when. The vault of origins. It sat in the center of time, not forward or backward, but in the still point between seconds. Reaching it meant surrendering chronology. Each of them became undone just enough to be born again inside the place that had birthed the first word. It welcomed her. It had been waiting. And within the vault of origins, she saw him. Not Taco as he had died, but as he had been. The boy. The apprentice. The doubter. The man who stared at spells not to cast them, but to understand why they mattered. He smiled at her, not a ghost, not an echo, but a greeting. You came further than I did, he said. You prepared the way. I made mistakes. You taught me how to learn from them. He nodded. Then you're ready. For what? To meet the architects. They descended together. Below the vault was a city not of stone or light, but of story. Every building was a tale. Every stairwell a question. Every hallway a memory that had been lived 1,000 times and was still uncertain how it ended. The architects were there. Not beings, but presences. Each was a concept, wrapped in the suggestion of shape. One radiated beginning. Another, loss. A third shimmered with the sound of laughter through tears. They encircled her. You have changed the pattern, they said. She nodded. You have awakened what should sleep. I know. You have passed the judgment of consequence. I accepted it. Then the choice is yours, they said. Become the seal, or the door. The choice stunned her. She looked at Taco, but he had faded again, smiling one last time before becoming a whisper in the walls. She stood in silence for a long time. Then she chose. She became the door. Light poured through her. Not from above, but from within. The stories of the world rushed toward her, begging to be remembered, to be lived again. She opened herself to them. Not to rule, but to receive. And as she opened, the world shifted. Vaults unraveled. Magic surged. Time stretched and danced. Every living thing dreamed the same dream, of a girl who once drew runes in the dirt and now cradled the world's breath in her hands. The door stood, and beyond it, something stepped through. A child. Wide-eyed. Curious. Carrying a staff of impossible material, and with a name on their lips that echoed like thunder softened by love. Taco. The child stood in the space beyond the door, untouched by time, unknowingly cradling the future. Their eyes reflected a sky that had not yet been painted. They did not speak, not yet, but every breath they took stirred the air with potential. The vault light pulsed faintly around their shoulders, and the echoes of the architects trembled like ripples on a still lake. The woman, no longer just a student, no longer just a conduit, looked upon the child and understood. Not with her mind, but with the aching part of her soul that remembered the weight of choice. "They are not me," she whispered. "No," said the vault. "They are not Taco." "No," the vault agreed again. "They are new." Yes. The child took their first step, and the ground formed beneath it. Every footprint shaped a narrative. Each pause a possibility. The door, the woman, watched them, felt the strands of reality twist and coil around this newcomer. They were a nexus, not of endings or beginnings, but of what might become. It was then that the sky tore open once more. Not in violence, but with purpose. The architect of endings had arrived. She was tall, and her shadow cast doubt upon doubt. Her cloak was made from the last breaths of stars. Her eyes shimmered with the last moment before oblivion. She did not speak, but her presence made the light around her shudder. "You have prolonged the pattern," she said, not with sound, but through every collapsing star in every sky. The door did not retreat. "I offered the world a breath, a moment to grow." The architect's silence pressed like the weight of entropy. "Growth leads to decay. Only if we let it rot." The child stood between them now. Not afraid. Simply watching. The architect turned her gaze to the child. "This one carries the flaw. All things carry flaw. That is how beauty is born. You would defy fate? I would remake it." A silence followed. Heavy. Final. Then the architect of endings raised her hand. The world buckled. The stars dimmed. The sun froze in its arc, seas stilled. Hearts paused. The vault itself winced. But the child stepped forward. And smiled. The smile was small. Simple. It did not carry fire. It carried hope. The architect blinked. Hope was not part of her design. The vault leaned in. And the door opened wider. Power surged, not in waves, but in choices. The woman who had become the door did not cast spells. She offered invitations. She welcomed truths. She gave the architect not resistance, but understanding. "The end is not the enemy," she said. "The end is the page before the next story." The architect looked once more at the child. And vanished. In her place bloomed a tree, silver and vast, its branches touching the stars. From that moment on, the vaults no longer slumbered. They sang. Each vault, once sealed in fear, now opened like petals to the light of shared meaning. They became places of passage, schools, sanctuaries, gardens, choices. Magic no longer bent the world against itself. It danced. The door remained, but she was no longer alone. Others joined her. The dreaming beast. The memory woman. The mirror child. The laughter priest. And beside them all, the one who had smiled, still holding that staff of impossible shape. They did not call themselves rulers. They were remembers. Carriers of echoes. Whispers of Taco's legacy. And in the far reaches of thought, in every story told around every fire in every age to come, one name was always spoken with reverence, wonder, and a spark of laughter. Taco. The wizard who unmade silence. Thank you for watching. Feel free to leave a like and comment if you want more content like this. Have a great day and till we meet again, traveler.